social media and personal gain.
There may be someone here for the wrong intention.
Breaking down next week's Bachelor teaser. Hey everyone, welcome back to another shared news panel, breaking down the biggest Bachelor bombshells of the week. I got my girls, Kayla G and Kayla T. Before we get into all of the drama, if you are new here, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of our Bachelor Nation panels. We are officially 3 weeks in. I gotta get the weekly check-in. How are we feeling? How are we feeling about this season? Are we liking Zach a little bit more, or are we bored? How about Kayla G? You go first, and Kayla T, you can give us your thoughts too.
I love how honest Zach is. I think that's like my #1 praise. But I mean, last night's episode was shocking. I can't say that word enough. It was a lot.
No, 100%. Zach is surprising me a lot. I mean, it's interesting because I think fans, you know, they're getting what they expected from him, which is like, yeah, he's a little subdued sometimes, or he's a little like boring maybe, but he's super to the point. He's super direct, and he like stands firm in what like he thinks and what he wants to do. And it's like, that's period. And I respect him a lot. So I'm kind of enjoying it in that way.
It's kind of hot.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we went from Clayton, who couldn't choose a colored pencil if they were all laid out in front of him, and now we have Zach, who's like brutally honest. I mean, in particular, talking about some of the shocking things that happened this week, the whole conversation with Bailey, I was like, whoa, he's being so direct with her. And even though it's not what she would want to hear, he's telling her the truth. Obviously, he did the same thing with Brianna, who ended up self-eliminating. And with Christina, I think we were all pretty shocked to see her go so early. However, we did our predictions last week when we were analyzing the teaser, and we called it that Christina was going to end up being a villain. So let's see if we can continue our prediction streak. And we are going to break down next week's teaser, trailer, whatever you want to call it. So let's go ahead and start with our first clip.
Being in the Bahamas feels like a nice, fresh restart.
Okay, they are traveling. First stop, Bahamas. Looks like a one-on-one with Brooklyn, snorkeling, riding four-wheelers. They're jumping off of yachts. What do you guys think of Brooklyn so far? We saw her more in this last episode in her confrontations with Christina. Kayla T, why don't you give us your thoughts?
Yeah, Brooklyn was interesting to me last week. I think, you know, she stood up for, you know, what she thought. She stood up to Christina like right away in the moment, which I found very like surprising. Sometimes it takes a little bit for some of the girls to like just, you know, do that. But yeah, and I don't know, it's like I liked that about her. Sometimes I don't usually like that, but I was like, oh, I'm kind of digging it. And the fact that, you know, Zach is taking her on this one-on-one. Sometimes girls like that don't get that romantic attention from the lead. So I'm interested to see their one-on-one date for sure.
And we haven't really seen anything of the two of them together yet. Very short, you know, snippets of them chatting at cocktail parties or what have you. Kayla G, do you think there's any hope for these two? Do you think there's a final four with Brooklyn in the mix? Or do you think that she kind of hasn't been given a lot of screen time, so we might be reading into that?
Yeah, Final Four might be pushing it, but I could see her hanging around for a little bit more because, I mean, she has, you know, she had her moment last night with Christina, and maybe that's kind of start into her. She gets a one-on-one right after, so kind of her story arc.
Yeah, and I feel like they're kind of editing the show differently these days, where villains come in waves and like love connections come in waves, whereas, you know, some people start off really strong and then they kind of taper off, and then the front runner kind of emerges somewhere in the middle of the season. So maybe that will be the case with Brooklyn. We can't rule it out. And Zach feels hopeful in the next clip. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Food, good vibes, and a lot of Zach.
This is the time where deep feelings start to rise. I'm feeling really hopeful.
She got fireworks.
Okay, we have fireworks. Can either one of you make out? I don't think that's Brooklyn, is it?
I think that's Catherine, actually.
Oh,
I think that there might
okay.
be two one-on-one dates. One with Brooklyn, one with Catherine. And I actually think in the prior clip, that might have been Catherine jumping off the boat and Brooklyn on the back of the four-wheeler.
Oh.
So looks like she's
Well,
got
I
the
just got
rose
that
too.
completely
So
wrong.
turned out well. You're good.
They're
Two
too far
blondes,
away. Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Lots of kisses in this. I want to talk about Ariel for a second because I also feel like she's starting to become a little bit of a dark horse. I feel like, she's not getting a ton of screen time either, but every time I see her and Zach together, I think that there's definitely a connection there. Kayla G, do you see Ariel making it far?
I mean, they had their little steamy makeout sesh at the pool party. They're very flirty and cute. I think he's really into it.
Yes, I agree. And I got to say, I love my dark-haired girlies. I always feel like I connect with them on a spiritual level. Okay, so yeah, like I said, Zach is feeling hopeful. He's kissing lots of women, whether it be Brooklyn or Kathleen, I don't know who Kathleen is, Catherine or Ariel. There's a plethora of women to choose from here. But the drama is looming because it can't all be kisses and roses and sunshine, and we need a new villain. So who is it going to be? Let's take a look at our next clip.
Oh, feels so good.
I want to go home. I'm not going to fight a bitch. All fair in the game of love.
Okay, so here's where things start to go off the rails. And this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, where I feel like villains are now emerging in waves. So now that Christina is gone, we're going to have another villain. We get a little peek here of Charity consoling someone. It looks like Mercedes, maybe, although it is hard because honestly, the first time that I ever put a name to a face with Mercedes was in this last episode at the rose ceremony with the last final 5 seconds. So it's hard to tell whether or not that is her. Do you have any predictions on who maybe our next villain will be?
That's a hard one. I think they're pointing it. I think we're going to see in the next clip, they're kind of leaning towards Kylie. But the person who I think is saying about cutting a bitch, I think that's Anastasia. But I don't know. I'm trying my best. There's so many quick clips.
Yeah. My prediction is definitely, I think, later in this promo. But I don't think it's Kylie. I think KG is onto something that is a misdirect. I don't think it's Kylie. But yeah, we'll have to take a look to see kind of, going to unfold some more.
Yeah, because they love a misdirect, which I agree with you. Yeah. Every time that they make it seem like it's one person, I automatically am like, okay, it's not that person because it can't be that obvious. But we get this next clip and they're talking about one woman in particular being an influencer. So let's see if we can kind of dig up some more clues from this next clip.
She's here for social media and personal gain.
There may be someone here for the wrong intention.
I don't have a good feeling about this.
I don't know what's true and what's not.
Okay, so I always find it interesting what women they pan to when they're saying what. So there's a quote here. She is here for social media and personal gain. And we see Gabby in that instance. We see Kylie, and then we see Charity. We also see Kylie starting to cry, but who exactly could they be talking about? I agree with you, Kayla T. We're here. They're kind of making it seem like it might be Kylie. But what I anticipate is going to happen is that Kylie is in the middle of the drama, but she's not the particular person that they're talking about. I think it might be like another Brianna situation where Kylie is the one to bring it up to Zach. And maybe that's why she's in a little bit of the hot seat. But I could not handle Charity being a villain. No, we're just not even going to put it out there because she
not
is
even
rainbows and sparkles and sunshine to me.
And she's perfect in every way. Yeah.
Could it potentially be Gabby? What do you guys think?
Definitely not Gabby. She's my favorite right now. I think I want her to go to the end. I kind of have might be unpopular. It's kind of far-fetched, but what if it's Katie? We've kind of seen like Christina got the one-on-one and then everyone kind of, she was the villain. And now Katie got the overnight. Some girls might be kind of salty about that. Maybe they want to start up some drama because they are threatened by their relationship. And we do see in, I'm not sure if it was this promo, but in several promos I've seen, we see Katie crying. She's involved in some type of drama. Maybe this is it. I don't know.
Well, my take is that I think Morgan is onto something about the Kylie being in the middle of it all and not necessarily like the villain or whoever, the person in in trouble. Like, I think Kylie maybe brings it up to Zach, and then that clip of her saying, I don't have a good feeling about this, looks like maybe it could be the cocktail party pre-rose ceremony situation where she's not sure if she's going to get a rose because she was kind of in the middle of this drama. So that's my take.
And I mean, we've seen Zach be very decisive when it comes to drama. So maybe that's why if Kylie is in the middle of it, she might be starting to spiral. Let's go ahead and check out our last clip and see if we can put the pieces of the puzzle together here.
I need to get to the bottom of it quick. Are you really here for me?
You can't hide the truth forever. It comes out eventually.
I mean, so like we said, very blunt, very direct. He asks, are you really here for me? So because we're talking about social media influencers, I decided to go back and look up the cast and see who maybe could fit this wanting more followers when it comes to what their actual job is. So obviously we know Christina, who has left, was a digital content creator. So she's off the list. Anastasia is a content marketing manager. Davia is also a marketing manager. Davia already has the blue check mark next to her name on Instagram. So she's verified and none of the rest of the cast are. And then Anastasia calls herself a digital creator on her Instagram page. Does this raise any red flags for either of you? KG, why don't you start and then KT, you can go next. She's like, I'm ready.
I'm waiting.
No, you are.
Go ahead.
I definitely think Anastasia, you're definitely on to something. But I feel like in other previews, I've seen her go a little farther, and it wasn't this week where he kind of questions her. So that's what my only kind of doubt there is.
I completely disagree. So there is a promo early on in the season where Zach is literally wearing that exact shirt.
Are you here for me?
Yes.
I don't know if I believe Anastasia.
And he says that same kind of line, like, are you here for me? And then he's in the ITM saying, I don't know if I believe Anastasia. And that is like, yes, y'all.
Okay, I was wrong.
Absolutely Anastasia. Right. I think it might have been like the big, huge season, teaser. But I was like, up when that played and he said her name, I was like, oh, I'm watching out for Anastasia because she could be a kind of middle of the pack, villain. So I think this is that week. So we'll have to see. I think Kylie might like have known something, maybe said something to Zach, and then that's my whole conclusive theory.
I love it. I love it. And we have it here on video. So if we're right again, we're going to be back here next week and we might deserve a raise. Honestly, if we're getting all of these predictions correct, we know somebody gets sent home here. So we'll just make a blanket statement. Whoever it is, let's pretend like it's Anastasia. Let's pretend it's Davia. Do you think that Zach sends her home on the spot, or do you think something else might come up in this episode to send somebody home? Maybe a self-elimination.
He's a no-nonsense guy. He's going to send her straight home.
I think so too. But my only thing is, he's wearing a suit in this clip where he's kind of sending someone off in a car. So that's obviously a different outfit from the red top, night portion of whatever group date. So I think he might like mull things over if it is Anastasia, let's say, and then send them home before the rose ceremony. And I don't know, something like that. That's kind of where my brain's at. But I think Anastasia is out for sure.
I'm just kind of hoping she does make it to the rose ceremony just because I want to see another one of her gowns. She's been killing the fashion this season, just saying.
Yes. Pantsuit lives rent-free in my brain. I'm not going to lie. That was such a power play. Night one. Love it. But I mean, here we are talking about her and her fashion choices. So if she's trying to get that follower count up, she's doing a good job. If you want to leave any comment, thought, opinion down below, please feel free to do so. We love hearing from our shared news family. If you want to make a prediction with us and then come back next week to see if we were right. Kayla T, I think that you're definitely onto something here. You had the magnifying glass out major this week, so you're MVP, but KG, you're close behind because I love you both very much.
I lost. I'm okay with it. Bowing down to Kayla T.
make sure you subscribe to our channel and ring the bell before you go so you don't miss out on any Bachelor Nation updates. As always, I'm your host, Morgan Wright, joined by Kayla G and Kayla T. If you want to come say hi to us on our social media pages, our handles are on the screen now, and we will see you back here next week. See you guys later.